obstacles and duck under the orange ones. Ready, set, go!
I will follow you, God. I will live for you. I will keep pressing on until I have reached the prize. I will move toward the goal. I won't stop till I'm done. I will run this race till I cross the finish line. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. I will follow you, God. I will live for you. I will keep pressing on until I have reached the prize. I will move toward the goal. I won't stop till I'm done. I will run this race till I cross the finish line. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. I will follow you, God. I will live for you. I will keep pressing on until I have reached the prize. I will move toward the goal. I won't stop till I'm done. I will run this race till I cross the finish line. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. I prayed to the Lord and He answered. He freed me from all my fears. I will trust His word. Hey, we're not scared. We're set free from our fears. Hey, we're not scared. We're set free from our fears. Hey, we're not scared. We're set free from our fears. Hey, we're not scared. We're set free from our fears. We are fearless. Fearless. We are fearless. Clap our hands and praise your name, Jesus. We follow you for all our days, Jesus. We clap our hands and praise your name, Jesus. We follow you for all our days, Jesus. Left, right, we follow day and night. Hands up, hands down, let Would you do service for Jesus, your King? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you live daily His praises to sing? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Would you do service for Jesus, your King? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you live daily His praises to sing? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Oh, there is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb.
Stories of the Bible. Noah and the Flood. This is Noah.
Hey!
Noah was a good man who tried to do the right thing.
Yeah!
But in the time when Noah lived, he was the only man on earth who was doing the right thing. All the other people on earth were doing evil things and hurting each other. This made God very sad. So God said that He was going to send a flood to the earth that would destroy every living thing on earth because He was sorry He ever made them. But God decided to save Noah and his family. God told Noah to build a boat and fill it with 2 of every kind of animal and bird.
Colors, birds, moss, okay, all here?
Noah did just that, and then Noah and his whole family boarded the boat and waited for the flood to come. The rain fell hard for 40 days and 40 nights.
Whoa!
Water covered the whole earth, and the boat floated safely on the surface. Water covered even the highest mountains on earth, but Noah and his family were saved. God remembered Noah and all the animals on the boat. God sent a wind to blow across the earth, and the flood began to go away. After 5 months, the boat came to rest on a mountaintop. A few months later, the other mountains could be seen. 40 days later, Noah opened a window and released a raven. The bird flew back and forth until the flood had dried up. He also sent a dove out to see if it could find dry ground, but the dove couldn't find a place to land because there was still water on the ground. So the dove returned to the boat.
Oh, hello again.
After another 7 days, Noah sent the dove out again. This time, it came back with an olive leaf.
Oh, bingo.
So Noah knew that the floodwaters were almost gone. A week later, he sent the dove out again, and it didn't come back. So many months after the flood began, Noah opened the covering of the boat and saw that the ground was drying. He waited 2 more months, and at last, the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat, all of you. Release the animals so they can be fruitful and multiply throughout the earth."
Okay.
So Noah, his family, and all the animals finally left the boat.
See ya!
Noah built an altar to the Lord to make a sacrifice to God. God was pleased with Noah's offering and said to himself that he would never again destroy every living thing on earth. God blessed Noah and his sons and promised them that he would never send another flood. He gave them the rainbow in the sky as a sign of this promise to Noah, his family, and all of mankind.
Have you ever made a promise? When I was growing up and I was in school, all of the girls would make these things called pinky promises. And they would cusp their pinkies together, and as they would do that, they would make this promise. The idea was that they would never be able to break this promise. I love pinky promises. Maybe you've heard of other kinds of promises, but I don't know about you, but I know plenty of people that made pinky promises, but they failed to keep their word. There were so many times where maybe girls kept a secret, but then one of them made a mistake and one of them broke their promise. Did you know that God never breaks his promise? God always keeps his word. He is the most trustworthy. And in our story today, there's this time many years after Adam and Eve, and there were more people living on the earth than there had been before, but the people had become very wicked and very violent. This really troubled God. You see, God loved the earth so much, he loved the people, but he saw how sin was ruining everything that he had planned. And he made a really difficult decision. God made the difficult decision to have to destroy his creation. But in the process, he saw one man who was righteous. That meant one man who was living in the right way. One man who was pleasing God with his actions. And so God chose to save this man named Noah. God said to Noah that he was going to flood the earth, but he was going to give Noah and his family a way to escape, a way to survive. He showed them how to build this massive boat called the ark. And he got the animals that he needed to get onto the ark. He got his family onto the ark. And then it began to rain. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And the whole world was flooded with water. Noah and his family and the animals, they floated on the ark on top of the water for 5 months. When the water was finally gone and they made it to land, Noah built an altar to worship God. And God was so pleased with Noah's worship that he promised to never destroy the whole earth again. God even sent a rainbow as the sign of that promise. When God makes a promise, he always keeps his word. And we can trust him to keep his word.